welcome to another Industrial Dimensions video. I am Twich and this is another Redstone tutorial. Yay! Had many requests for another one. Let's heal this wall. I just love having that. There we go. Up. Go on. Yeah, today we're going to cover some of the, well, we're going to go back to basics, sort of. Now, a lot of tutorials tell you how to... That's interesting. Oh, okay, it's still working. It's just I'm in sound range now. Yeah, a lot of Redstone tutorials seem to only ever tell you, you know, how to make a specific thing, and a lot of people are just left copying exactly that, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think you should learn something from everything you attempt to do. So basically, this is like sort of my redstone yard here, and I'm going to go through and talk to you about some of the mechanics of things. I set this up yesterday, so I'm sorry if I have to think about what I'm attempting to show. Okay, so let's start off with these piston line up here. So basically I'm just going to show you quickly how pistons can be powered. Obviously redstone is a power source. A redstone torch counts as is a common source of power. And you can power pistons from the side. You can power pistons through a block by powering the block, and then the piston will take power again through a block. You can power a piston underneath a block and wreck your redstone area at the same time. And okay, here's something here. Obviously this is going to be powering it on top as well, but if I remove this, it doesn't change, and that's because technically it's still getting power diagonally from this. So if I take that away, it's locked sort of on until I update it. So I need to remind the game that there is no power going to it. So there we go. You can put it on any sort of side, and that's basically the principle behind block update sensors and things like that. There we go, see, it has to be attached to the block. You can't power it through, you know, straight up, because redstone wire doesn't, can only receive an input through the top. It doesn't, you know, straight wire like this will only send the power down the line. I think there are some extenuating circumstances, but we'll get into that. And they can only take input from above into it, so they can't output to this piston because it's, well, it's up there, but I believe, yeah, there we go. If we put a block there, such a thing would be possible. Something to remember. And I think, yeah, we'll move straight on over to here. So pressure plates, obviously this is the wooden pressure plate. It has the dynamic where items get picked up from it. You can take the power source from every side, and I'm thinking you can power down because it powers the block underneath. Yeah, it powers the block underneath, and you see redstone signal can receive an input from on top of it. Obviously redstone torches don't send power down, but if I put a lever on the side of this, it powers the block, and there you go. Something good to remember about the let's get rid of that, about the redstone torch is basically so if you're getting any confusion about redstone torches, if you actually look at the torch itself, obviously this glowing bit is where the power is coming from, and this is an easy way to remember it. Power can come up through the stick, but it can't go down through the stick, and so you can go in from the side into the stick of it, and then this top bit is what provides power, so that can provide power out this way, out this way, out this way, out this way, and out that way. But it can't take power into that because obviously it's already powered, which is actually I set something up over there, so we'll go on to that. Yeah, actually it's over here, see? That's how you get this sort of so this would usually be on, and this is of course the top bit, so it's powering this block, which is coming, and the power from this block goes in through the stick and then puts like a 1 and a 1 on top here, so obviously 1 and 1. Sorry, not, it's like a, it's a negative, it turns it off. So that's an interesting dynamic of torches. Also, obviously redstone dots like this can take power in from every single side. So if we destroy that there, get a block. So another thing is you can see these do actually have a hitbox. So obviously not powering this block, not powering this block because it's attached by that. So we'll need blast. Here we go. We need to power this block. So this is powering this block, and then it's coming in from the side. So you can, you know, and it's obviously, as I showed before, the same on top with redstone. So redstone and a redstone torch, two different things. Obviously, redstone torches can't really take current anywhere. They don't take or move current. They just create current, or they create no current. And so in this case, what we're doing is we're not technically moving any current, we're just changing the state of the on or off. Whereas with redstone, it's actually taking the current from something else, and that's why redstone obviously isn't a power source and doesn't count. Actually, I don't want to destroy that. I'm going to keep it here. Looks quite nice. Again, redstone torches on the edge of blocks. If we place a normal thing down like this, and then let's say power that, this block is now powered, but none of that power is going in to this. So yeah, sorry, that was actually, I think I said something false over there, but power can't come in because there's no, it's not coming in from the stick. See, it can only come in from the stick, and power is not going in from the stick here. But if we do that, obviously the stick is into this block here. So because this block is powered, you know, 2 ons make an off. And it's the same with this if we do that. Oh yeah, a little interesting thing about the torches which I should mention is they burn out. So if I do this, you see if it goes too quickly, set time to sunrise, if this pulses too quickly, it'll burn out, which is actually something you can use to your advantage to create a sort of rapid pulse. So if I do this here, it updates it, which means it goes again, and then this is on, and then if I do this, oh, of course, here we go. It should periodically, no, I need to put this on this side as well. There you go. See, it keeps burning out, and so you can actually take this as a rapid pulse. It's a bit random, but yeah, because you know it burns out, and that's another dynamic which you can use in whatever redstone creation. It's important to note, as I was saying, the redstone signal can be taken out of any side except the bottom, and it can come out of the top. So it can come out the top and the sides, but it cannot come in through the bottom. So in a way, a redstone torch is a one-way thing. Power comes out the top and out the sides and in from the bottom, and that is the way of the redstone torch. So you can use that to your advantage. Oh, a sort of different thing here. As I was saying before, yeah, this is another type of pressure plate. It acts in the exact same way as that pressure plate, except only an entity which is like large, like a mob, or you know, a mob or a person or anything. A player can set these off, but only those things. You can't use items. Just not heavy enough. Give me back those. And here I'm just demonstrating the exact same things there, where the power goes in. It can come through this, come through any of these sides. See, all turn off. But if no, I ain't gonna be able to see that. Done. Okay, so if I chuck my spare lever onto there, see, it's not turning off this because it's not coming in through the bit, you know. I have no stone pressure plates now. I'll fix that later. I'm notoriously bad at fixing things in my world, so actually I'll break it and then fix it later because I'll remember now. Again, as you can see, the particle effects there. Let's load up because I know I carry a couple of extras. There we go. See, you can't send power to a block. These will only send power to a torch, basically. Sorry, no, a redstone, something which can conduct sort of current. So a block technically doesn't conduct current. It can be a powered block, or it can be an sort of an unpowered block. And you can't power a block using something like this, but you can if it allows a sort of current flow through it. Like these don't actually power blocks, unless obviously it's coming from the powering side where stuff can come out. But I can power the block from on top, because these don't actually power blocks from the sides of them, but they do power blocks underneath them. See? But they'll only, yeah, that's how they power. You can power it from the sides by redstone, and yeah, and you obviously can take that redstone from the block itself. Anywho, moving on. A quick demonstration here of the little gubbins things you can do. I think this is just... So as you can see, it's done nothing to this because that can't take input from this block. It's done nothing to this because it doesn't send current upwards. It does send current, it does power... Silly me, I picked up my... It does power redstone, and it does power repeaters. And you can see this as I'm getting power from this into this and this. There we go. And pressure plates are a power source. Onto other power sources here. Got a little array set up, then I'll move on to music blocks. Hopefully all of these videos will enable you to be better at redstone in general. And you know, if you have any idea, if you're wondering about any of the block mechanics, or you know, any of the attributes related to different redstone things, you can just watch this video and yeah, be told about it basically. So a switch, as you can see, it's powering this down here even though there's sort of no block here, and that is because, let's say, this invisible area here that we can't see, obviously when we select it you can see that little box around it. This is taking up this block space, and when you press it, it becomes powered, and the block it is attached to becomes powered. So it powers the block, and it will power it for a short amount of time. And because, obviously, as I said before, redstone can take, redstone wire can take an input from the top. It doesn't matter where it's getting the input from, it just likes taking an input. If it's linked up, basically, it's taking an input from it, or it can receive the input from the top. So every time I press this, it powers itself, which powers the block underneath it. Because it will power the block underneath, I'm thinking it will power the block on the side as well. Does it actually power the block? No. But I bet you it will power the redstone. There you see. It'll power the redstone, but it doesn't power any side blocks. It only powers the block that it's attached to, and it powers itself. Bit of a lag there. As you can see here, I'm not powering this redstone directly from the switch. I'm powering the block when I press the button, and it powers on that. Same thing here. The stick is going into the stick of the end of the torch is going into the block. So whenever I press this button, it powers this block momentarily. Goes into that. Same thing here. Actually, I just showed you there from the side. Basically, I'm not powering this block underneath. That's just to support the redstone wire. So the redstone wire is here. This is here, so this will power this. See? And it will power the block from behind again. It doesn't power this block underneath. But it does power this block, which sends power to underneath. Allowing that to be, because, you know, redstone wire, yep. I'll try and repeat it as little as possible. Obviously, you can take the output of the torch in the exact same way, because although it looks like there's air here to the game, there isn't air. This block is taken up, and this block is taken up. So if you were to look at this from the game perspective, sort of, this is what you're seeing, sort of. I don't want to use sand, I'll use dirt at the end. Thank God for block select. So this was the this dirt block here is the torch to the game, and this dirt block here is the redstone. Obviously the properties of each are completely different from dirt, but I hope that allows you to think of redstone in a different light, instead of something that's just sort of, you know, not there. It really is to the game. Switches, same thing. You can use it for a longer power source because you can just leave it on, so you can use it like a torch. It sends power to redstone, obviously, from every side, like has been said. See? For every side of this, you know, but it has to be attached to a block. And unlike buttons, it can be attached to the top of a block. And here we can see it powering this block to power the top. To just further illustrate it powering, so all three of these. Okay, that's a bit loud. Sorry guys. Yeah, you go away. Do that while I... Yep, so each one of these is going to power this block. So if I turn this on, this will be on. If I turn this on, this will be on. And if I turn this on, this will be on. If I turn all three, obviously that's overkill, but the block is still getting power. It can't have too much power. And again, redstone torch does not take input from top. It cares not. But redstone wire, it does take input from top. So that's basically what I've been saying all along. Onto repeaters a little bit here. As we know, repeaters can be used to delay. I'll get more into repeaters over there and over there. But I just wanted to show you this, because this is a little bit of a note block. Note blocks can receive power, and they'll play tunes. By right-clicking, you can change the tune it plays. However, note blocks also have another property. If I hook these up to these, it'll make an even more horrible sound. Let's say we want to add some bass to this. If you place a block which is sort of solid or thick, I mean, I don't do much with note blocks ever. I don't really like them, but I realise that you might. See? Do you hear that? Yep, I'm sure you do. It's quite loud actually, and very annoying. That's some bass right there. I've got my speakers in and I'm deafening myself. So as you can see, these repeaters were used to power the block, and the block sent power to these repeaters, because repeaters can take output from a block. And if we use this, you see, I think this doesn't work. It should not work. I am going to show this later. Yeah, as you can see, redstone doesn't take power from a block. No, that's not true. If redstone is going into a block, the redstone doesn't power blocks, but a powered block will power redstone. So if we did something like this, however, I don't think that will work. No, you see, because this doesn't power that. Anyway, yeah, we'll move on to that now, actually. So, yeah, there's a funny attribute with note blocks. It's deliberate, obviously. It's not like a glitch or anything. If you put a more solid block underneath, it changes it from the toony tunes to the bassy bass. Just ignore what I was saying there completely. Here. The redstone. I'm just going to basically talk about what's going on here. Obviously this block, you know, yeah, so this is powering this block here. And that is powering this. So this redstone is being powered from, I think, this block and that block. No, it's just being powered from that. Anyway, basically the if you do this, it's another way of vertical redstone, because this is powering this block here. So if I stick, there we go. So I don't need this there. This portrays it more. This is the power part, and it's powering this block here. Because this block is powered, it goes through the stick and means that this redstone is getting two positive signals, one from itself and one from the block, which means obviously two positives. Yep, inverts. It becomes an inverter basically, and then that doesn't power this block here. And because this is not powering this block here, this is on. If I did this, there we go, this is now powering this, which means that this will be off. It's the same stuff that's happening here, however, does it use more technically? Technically it does, but you can take the redstone, I mean this side will always be on, this side will always be off, unless obviously you invert the whole thing by either removing or providing power to this block. What does this do? Yeah, that'll burn it out. As we've seen before, if it's powering itself, basically it's going with the game update, so it just flickers madly and then turns itself off. In fact, actually, it's a tool that's often used in pranking people or griefing people or whatnot. Let's see if I can blast. If I can just illustrate what I mean. No, okay, I'm too. Right, now I just need to put this somewhere where it will receive power. Yeah, basically if you put a door somewhere or something like that, and it's getting power from this system as well. I'm sure I can do it with a fence. Fences don't, well, that's not going to work, is it? That's a repeater, it ruins the... There you go. See? That's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, that's what people tended to do back in the day when they were thinking they were funny. It's now nighttime. Sorry, I'm going off track. Off track? Speaking of tracks, there's some over there. We'll go into that in a second. But first, over here, dispensers. 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 So you can power them like this. That little click. Dispenser going off. You can power them by putting something next to them like this. Even this will power them from the side. So basically dispensers, in a way, are a bit like redstone wire. Any sort of signal that's near them will... Well, any sort of signal near them going off will basically set them off. Yep. See, even the plates which don't power blocks, they do